to another episode of Entrepreneurs and Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs, such as my new best friend, Aaron, and my new best friend, Jocelyn, Freeman.
Hello.
That's right. The new power couples, if you will.
And this is what's cool. I mean, let me throw this away. Here's what's really cool about what you guys do is that you were doing great on your own. But then you figure out a way to become one as partners. But not only physically, emotionally, spiritually, but also financially.
Yeah.
And that is what it's incredibly powerful about what you folks do. And if I were to live another life, if I were Taylor's age, she's just a kid. But I would think back and go, all right, that's how I should have thought way back in the day. So you're providing that partnership, that philosophy, if you will, that a lot more couples or people that are single that are looking to get married or partner up with somebody. And by the way, that I'm talking to you, Taylor, because you're going to get married here. So, and she's found a partner that is exactly like you guys. But that's probably all I'm going to say about this interview. And I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves and talk about what you do.
Yeah, so perfect you led up to that, though. So it was that we started out separate, and I want to speak to that. But who we are really is the new power couple, and that's about you. That's about your relationship thriving physically, financially, and spiritually.
Correct.
And one thing we could talk about is taking your relationship. We're all in a relationship, but how often are you in partnership?
Exactly.
And so one thing I do want to say to what you were talking about, when we got together, that was the thing. We were doing great. Jocelyn's a nurse. I work as an engineer. But when we got together, we said, we don't want to have a life where we have to choose or. We want a life of and. Like, do we go see your parents this Christmas and my parents for Thanksgiving? Do we get to go on a mission trip to Haiti? Or, like with PTO, it's like that's not the life that we're meant to live. How do we start to build this partnership in our life such that we don't have to choose like this or that, but it's this, it's everything, it's
and you're talking in a partnership, and a partnership that you have is a partnership of equals.
Yeah.
It's not a 60-40, it's not a 70-30, it's a partnership of equals.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key, and what you folks have recognized, that it should be the success to what you do.
Yeah, and it's funny because we didn't start off this way. He tried to break up with me in the beginning, actually. So it was something we created and discovered, and really anyone can find this level of partnership. But what we write in our book is that partnership isn't 50-50, it's actually 100-100. And most people don't give 100%. Most people say, well, this person's giving 70%, I'll give 70%.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, he tries to break it up with you, and who is the one that says, wait a minute, maybe that's not such a good idea?
Well,
tell him a quick story, yeah.
So, quick story, he tried to break up with me, and I had done, at that point, quite a bit of personal development. So what I could hear behind him trying to break up with me was fear. And I knew that he wasn't trying to break up with me because he didn't, like me or see a future. He was afraid. And I said, okay, I hear you. You're afraid, and I'm not going to let you break up with me.
Yeah.
Just like that. And you're like, all right, that sounds like a good idea.
Well, it was on the phone, so that was the right move. Right. And we actually hung the phone up, and I'm not kidding you, 15 seconds later, she called me back. After I said we just should be friends, she called me back and said it doesn't work for me. And in that moment, I'm like, I got a whole world of who you were. I got this girl's going to stand for me. I don't have to be worried about putting myself out there and being rejected. I'm like, I've never, ever had anybody say that to me. I'm like, I'm in.
In your partnership, you're talking about being 100 and 100.
Yeah.
When did you find out, and let's kind of take this a little bit to the entrepreneurship aspect of your partnership, of your success, is when did you decide, you know what, honey, I think that we could maybe kind of tell other people about what we're doing, because whatever it is, whatever potion that we're drinking, whatever magic that we have right here, perhaps we can bottle it, and maybe others can benefit from it. When did that happen? And how did that happen?
Yeah, so I want to share something, and it really ties into the spiritual aspect for us.
Right.
And like you said, a magic potion, for us it was like a tap on our shoulder. Right, and it was over a period of time, but it was like, that this partnership we could create where we have abundance physically, financially, and spiritually, and they're not separate. You bring that together for a life of abundance, and we were tapped on the shoulder like, this is your purpose. Yeah. This is what you're here for, together to lead the way for couples so that they can become their version of their power couple. And our mission is a million couples in the next 3 years.
each couple finds its own rhythm.
Yeah.
And what you do is you kind of enable or you facilitate that journey, that trip for the couples to find themselves into not individuals, not 60-40, not 50-50, but 100 and 100.
Yeah, and that's what our online programs are about, our live programs. Our book is really about, we're not saying be like us. In fact, we're going to give you the tools to design your lives. And we help couples create a vision statement, which is really powerful in them in guiding their direction. And any little thing that comes up won't take people off course, because they'll go, okay, that's a test. We're coming right back on course to our vision.
What do you think is one of the biggest obstacles that prevent couples from becoming partners? And again, you could be a couple.
Yeah.
You may not be a partner. And I think you probably find a lot of them, we're married and we have this in paper and that's great, but we're not partners.
Yeah.
What do you think is one of the biggest obstacles that prevents us from becoming partners?
I think there's a few. Is there one right there for you?
Just more about the vision. So like talk more about, it really is, because we've even had couples that do personal development, I'm in, but they do personal development individually. So we've had couples come to us and say, man, something is off. Like, actually, we've had people say, we don't know if this marriage is going to work, but it's because they developed individually so much they now feel separate. And Jocelyn can speak to this, we brought them back and said, what's your vision for your partnership? Grow that as like its own identity, not your two separate people.
And so that I understand, when you're talking about partnership, it's not a Siamese relationship where you're just tied, to the other person 24/7, but it's probably about respecting the time that each individual has for themselves and for the partnership, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to understand what each other values. Sometimes you value more time separately or together. So we're not. In fact, I was in Boston all this last week, and Aaron was here. So partnership doesn't have to mean you're together all the time or do everything together. But we know that what you're doing is fulfilling on our vision. What I'm doing is fulfilling on our vision. And then we can come back together and just keep regrouping. Yeah,
she's been in 5 states in like the past 2 weeks. But, I'm still...
And you're like, honey, come home.
She got home last night. Yeah. But she's still out delivering the message wherever she's at, and we're clear on what we are providing, the value we're giving to people. So I can do that on my own for a week while she's gone, and she's out there doing it, but we know what we're together doing.
When a couple starts in their journey together for their life, one of the things that I think that we don't do is sit down as partners and say, all right, even if it sounds a little bit cold, but all right, this is our objectives, these are our objectives, this is our mission, this is what we're going to be working for, and you and I are partners, and being that blunt and use those words, right? We're partners, we're a couple, we're your husband, wife, but we're partners, and this is what I expect from you, and this is what you should expect from me.
Like just being very
clear about the expectations?
Being clear is huge, and also the thing I used to do, this is what I discovered about myself, and I hear in a lot of people, is they are like, what I'm looking for in my partner is this, and they want it to show up over there with that person, instead of, I will be what I'm wanting in the other person. So we're trained in a way, like in movies and everything, like, oh, what is your partner going to look like and how are they going to be? Instead of the person going, oh, if I want to attract that and also maintain that relationship, if I want love, I need to be love. If I want someone to respect me, I need to be respect. So it coming from yourself first, it's like I'm taking on that I'm responsible for this partnership, which isn't easy, but we remind ourselves, to just be like, oh, if I want him to, be spending quality time with, I need to be being that first.
And that's really cool. In this world of social media, we're exposed every single day to postings, and everybody seeing our lives pretty much unfold before the world on a minute-to-minute basis. And I truly appreciate and adore what you do, because it's a great message. It's not the I, it's the we as partners. Much like it could be a law firm as a partners, right? Or a corporation. The eyes of the world, though, the world is cruel out there, because looking from the outside to you, they're going like, oh my goodness, they have to get tired of each other. They have to do, how do they deal with when they fight and everything else? Do you get that at all?
Good question.
Do you get that at all? Because, just looking from the outside, and in fact, you have a successful and honest relationship that I can almost guarantee you, correct me if I'm wrong, you wouldn't have any qualms saying, honey, I don't think that this is working right. Or you would say the same thing because of the honesty of the relationship that you have and the love that you have for each other. But how would you put that to other couples?
Yeah.
And again, there's no magic answer, I'm
Right.
sure, but how do you relate that to other couples so that they feel comfortable telling each other, honey, this is what's going on. I'm not agreeing too much about this, and still keep the respect and the love for each other.
Yeah. Well, and we do, to your point about, we don't always get it right. So we have, upsets, and we actually share that with social media as well. So we share the high times as well as the low times so that people get, actually being a new power couple is far from perfection.
Right.
It's very far from perfection.
And it is about that honesty that you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
Sharing it. Hey, look, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
We want to be the perfect couple, but in that perfection, it's not always the 100%.
It's too constraining. It's no one can be perfect, and that's not appealing. We talk about that in the book as well. It's we constrain ourselves by even trying to be perfect. I was a much worse girlfriend when I was trying to be perfect. when he finds me on the ground having like, what's happening? And that happens to me.
Yeah.
And now, so that authenticity, being vulnerable, being real, it keeps us more connected than being perfect. But how we would convey that to people working with them is just giving up that idea that you need to be perfect. You really don't, and it's not what your partner even desires. Your partner desires authenticity.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Freeman. Man, it's been a pleasure, really, really, really pleasure, very informative. And as you can see, we could talk about this thing. I mean, this is really fascinating stuff, and it's great advice for individuals and for that they already have a partner, but also that people that are looking to. You're starting in your life as a partner, and
That's why I'm taking some notes.
Oh man, she's got it perfect. She's got a perfect setup as well. But you folks, really, my respect. Anything that we can do to spread the message, that's what we're here for. I can tell you on a personal basis, I found a phenomenal partner, Casey, who's right out there. But I was the bad guy, and so the partnership didn't work out all that well. But she's still an incredible partner.
Aw, that's so awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you so
so
much for
good.
having us, and we'd love to meet
I want to
you.
make her cry. I wanted to make her cry. I wanted to have this Oprah moment in this show.
I love it.
That's what we bring. That's what we bring.
I really respect what you guys did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my
Thank
dear.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank
With that, we're out.